Kiddushin 71a purifies the tribes. In other words, clarifies their lineage. He will purify that of the tribe of Levi first, as it is stated with regard to the angel sent forth by God, and he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver. And there shall be they that offer to the Lord offerings in righteousness. Malachi 3:3. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says, money purifies mamzerim. Money causes rich mamzerim to become assimilated with Jews of unflawed lineage, since other families marry them despite their flawed lineage. In the future, God will not single them out as mamzerim, as it is stated, and he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, which teaches that money, in other words, silver, purifies them. What then is the connection to the next part of the verse, that they shall offer to the Lord offerings in righteousness? Rabbi Yitzchak says, the Holy One, blessed be He, performed an act of righteousness with the Jewish people by establishing that a family that has become assimilated with Jews of unflawed lineage remains assimilated. They are not removed from their tribe despite their flawed lineage. With regard to the matter itself that was discussed earlier, the lineage of the Jews in various lands, Rabbi Yehuda says that Shmuel says the lineage of residents of all lands is muddled compared to that of the residents of Eretz Yisrael, and the lineage of residents of Eretz Yisrael is muddled compared to that of Babylonia. The Gemara relates, in the days of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, they sought to establish the lineage of the Jews in Babylonia as muddled relative to that of Eretz Yisrael. In other words, the people of Eretz Yisrael wanted their lineage to be considered superior to that of the residents of Babylonia, so that if people from Eretz Yisrael would wish to marry Babylonians, they would have to investigate the lineage of the Babylonians. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi was descended from Hillel, a Babylonian, so he said to those who put forth this suggestion, "Are you placing thorns between my eyes? Do you wish to insult me? If you wish, Rabbi Hanina bar Chama will join you and explain it to you." Rabbi Hanina bar Chama joined them and said to them, "This is the tradition that I received from Rabbi Yishmael, the son of Rabbi Yossi, who says in the name of his father, who was from Eretz Yisrael, the lineage of residents of all lands is muddled compared to that of Eretz Yisrael, and the lineage of residents of Eretz Yisrael is muddled compared to that of Babylonia." The Gemara further relates, with regard to the same issue, in the days of Rabbi Pinchas, they sought to establish the lineage of Babylonia as muddled relative to that of Eretz Yisrael. He said to his servants, "When I have said two statements in the house of study, pick me up on a stretcher and run, so that I will not be attacked for my statements." When he entered the house of study, he said to those studying there, "Slaughter of a bird is not obligatory by Torah law." While they were sitting and scrutinizing his novel halacha, he said to them, "The lineage of residents of all lands is muddled compared to that of Eretz Yisrael, and the lineage of residents of Eretz Yisrael is muddled compared to that of Babylonia." His servants picked him up on a stretcher and ran. Those that were in the house of study pursued him, but could not catch him. Nevertheless, they sat and examined the lineage of various families in order to determine whether in fact the lineage of the residents of Eretz Yisrael was problematic, until they reached powerful families. It was dangerous to accuse them of flaws due to their power, and they withdrew from their inspections. Rabbi Yochanan says in oath, "By the sanctuary, it is in our power to reveal the identity of a family that has a flawed lineage. But what can I do, as the greatest of the generation are assimilated into it? Consequently, I will not reveal its name." The Gemara comments, Rabbi Yochanan holds in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yitzchak, as Rabbi Yitzchak says, A family that has become assimilated remains assimilated, and one should not reveal their flawed status. Abaye said, we too learn in the Mishnah in Eduyot 8:7. There was a family known as Beit HaTzerifah in Transjordan, and a person called Ben Zion forcefully distanced it and proclaimed that its lineage was flawed, although its lineage was unflawed. There was another one that Ben Zion forcefully drew near, although its lineage was flawed. The Mishnah adds, known families such as these, Elijah comes to declare impure and to declare pure, to distance and to draw near. Abaye continues, when the Mishnah states such as these, it means those whose status we know, but a family that has become assimilated, whose flawed lineage is unknown to the public, has already become assimilated, and not even Elijah will publicize its flaw. The sages taught in Tosefta, Eduyot 3:4, there was another family with flawed lineage, but the sages did not want to reveal its identity to all. But the sages transmit its name to their children and to their students once every 7 years, and some say twice every 7 years, to prevent them from marrying into their family. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, it stands to reason in accordance with the one who says that they transmit it once in every 7 years, as it is taught in a Brisa Tosefta Nazir 1:2, one who says, I am hereby a Nazirite if I do not reveal the names of families of flawed lineage among the Jewish people. He should be a Nazirite and not reveal the identity of such families. This shows that such information should be kept secret as much as possible. The above statement concerning a matter that the sages transmitted privately and infrequently leads the Gemara to teach a similar halacha. Rabba Bar Chana says that Rabbi Yochanan says the sages transmit the correct pronunciation of the 4-letter name of God to their students once every 7 years, and some say twice every 7 years. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says it stands to reason in accordance with the one who says that they transmit it once every 7 years, as it is written, this is my name forever, Le'olam, Exodus 3:15, which is written so that it can be read Le'alem, to hide. This indicates that the divine name must remain hidden. The Gemara relates, Rava planned to expound and explain the proper way to say the name in a public discourse. A certain elder said to him, it is written so that it can be read Le'alem, indicating that it must be hidden. Rabbi Avina raised a contradiction. It is written, this is my name, indicating that the name as written is that of God, and it is written, this is my remembrance, Exodus 3:15, which indicates that it is not God's actual name, but merely a way of remembering his name. The explanation is as follows. The Holy One, blessed be he, said, not as I am written am I pronounced. I am written with the letters Yod, Yud-He, Vav, He, while my name is pronounced with the letters Aleph, Daled, Nun, Yud. The sages taught initially the sages would transmit the 12-letter name of God to any person. When the uninhibited ones who used the name disrespectfully increased, they would transmit it only to discreet members of the priesthood, and the discreet members of the priesthood would pronounce the name during the priestly benediction. They would conceal it by saying it during the sweet melody of their priestly brothers, so that it would not become publicly known. It is taught in a Brisa, Rabbi Tarfon, who was himself a priest, said, on one occasion I ascended after my mother's brother to the platform to give the priestly benediction, and I inclined my ear near the high priest, and I heard him conceal the name during the sweet melody of his priestly brothers. Rabbi Yehuda says that Rav says the 42-letter name of God may be transmitted only to one who is discreet and humble and stands at least half his life, and does not get angry, and does not get drunk, and does not insist upon his rights, but is willing to yield. There is no concern that such a person might reveal the name in a fit of anger or drunkenness, and anyone who knows this name and is careful with it and guards it in purity is beloved above and treasured below, and fear of him is cast upon the creatures, and he inherits two worlds, this world and the world to come. The Gemara returns to the issue of lineage. Shmuel says, in the name of a certain elder, a family in Babylonia has a presumptive status of unflawed lineage until it becomes known to you in what way it was rendered of flawed lineage. Conversely, a family from other lands has a presumptive status of flawed lineage until it becomes known to you in what way it was rendered unflawed. As for families in Eretz Yisrael, one who has a presumptive status of flawed lineage is of flawed lineage, whereas one who has presumptive status of unflawed lineage is of unflawed lineage. The Gemara is puzzled by this last statement. This matter itself is difficult. First you said that a family that has a presumptive status of flawed lineage is of flawed lineage, indicating that a family with unspecified status is of unflawed lineage. And then you teach a family that has a presumptive status of unflawed lineage is of unflawed lineage, indicating that a family with unspecified status is of flawed lineage. Rav Huna bar Tachlifa said, in the name of Rav, this is not difficult.